it's time for a lot of these cards to get out of standard. Let's talk about some of the most impactful or most hated cards that people are just ready for them to leave. I put out in my community section here, just asking what are the decks or cards that you are basically most ready for. And we did have Brian and Jason post Bloom, Overgrowth, Flow, Il'gynoth, the Librams, Devolving Missiles, Wand Thief, Lightning Bloom. That's a recurring one for sure. So thank you for replying with your comments there. But yeah, Lightning Bloom is a huge one that I hear from a lot of people. I'm ready for that one to go. Overgrowth is rotating. Actually, a lot of Druid is rotating. If you look at kind of these ramp and spell lists, a ton of these kind of key cards are leaving. Libram Paladin as well. A lot of the Libram Paladin, a lot of the core of the deck, as well as a lot of the Face Hunter cards are leaving. We're going to see quite a shift in a lot of these decks. And I think the biggest thing for a lot of people is really the key functioning cards that create the decks that we've seen that people really don't tend to like playing against as much, or that they just kind of are tired of seeing after so long in the standard meta. Looking at Mage, we have Cram Session and Encancer's Flow leaving the meta. I think Skull of Gul'dan is a huge one for Demon Hunter. For Priest, we have some of the enablers like Raise Dead and Palm Reading, as well as Nazmani Bloodweaver. These haven't been in every Priest deck, but they definitely have been a recurring theme. Looking at Rogue, I think a couple of enablers and things that have really created consistency in Rogue has been Secret Passage and Swindle, as well as Cloak of Shadows. I feel like that's another big one that really has kind of come and gone in standard, but it keeps getting put back into decks and even got nerfed and changed because of its power level. In Shaman, I think a few of the enablers that we've really seen kind of become very consistent is Lightning Bloom. That's across both Shaman and Druid, but things like the Devolving Missiles and honestly even Cage Match Custodian has created a lot of consistency in Shaman, being able to pull out a weapon specifically. And I also want to bring up Serpent Shrine Portal. I think this is another one that kind of has snuck its way into a lot of Shaman decks over the last few years, where the one overload often wasn't actually very detrimental, especially once we got the quest lines. It actually ended up being more of a help than a hindrance. And in Warlock, a few of the most impactful has also been Raise Dead and the Flesh Giants along with that. I feel they've been used in Warlock a lot more than in Priest, Backfire, and even Hand of Gul'dan. And then for Warrior, wouldn't be wanting to talk about weapons like I've already mentioned without talking about Corsair Cache and Bulwark of Azeroth. Those two alone, I feel like have really been vital in a lot of warrior decks over the last few years. And Corsair Cache, again, like I was saying with the Shaman, Corsair Cache is one of those that has made a lot of the warrior decks work even better, including when pairing it with Bulwark of Azeroth. So are there cards that are leaving standard within these three sets? These are the ones that are leaving, that you are just ready for them to leave, or maybe some that you aren't ready for them to leave, you really want to keep playing them? Let me know in those comments below. And as we get even closer to rotation, and once we know what the new expansion is, I am definitely going to be looking to do even more videos. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I hope you go out there and make today legendary.